mentioned one of the characters, and I am not caught up on Game of Thrones, and this is kind of a travesty because apparently all the action happens in the next episode. Ryan,
It's a
right?
particularly a travesty because you came to me and said, "Hey, I'm going to do a thing about Game of Thrones," and so I'm thinking here, "Hey, yeah, well, he must have seen the latest episode,
Mhm.
and that must be why that's the topic tonight."
No, no,
But
actually,
That
no,
would be my assumption too.
yeah, and that would be a good
I was
assumption.
telling
That would,
people too, like, "Hey, we're going to talk about it tonight. Brian's got it covered." Because I mean, as everyone knows, I don't watch new shows.
any shows he's had the first season at his house for how long? I gave it to you on Blu-ray like 2 years ago.
This is true. He did do that. So
Yes, yes, I did. That is the truth too. So, but yeah, I actually the part I wanted to talk about with Game of Thrones is that it's been an amazing season so far, but that the book readers really they haven't ruined it for any of the TV watchers because that is something you would think would happen with such a popular book series. You'd think that everybody would know everything, but I've been able to stay away from all the spoilers, and I think that's kind of amazing.
until now,
Until now, well, no,
because
I
people
still
are going
haven't
to
had
comment
anything
down
spoiled.
below and spoil it right now.
Well, they could, but I would read it. Please don't do that.
I mean, the book readers don't spoil it for me because I specifically avoid them at all costs. I think that's the only reason.
I guess that could work, but yeah, I mean, with such big books as they were, I everything was spoiled in Lord of the Rings before those movies came out, so I just ended up reading the books anyway. So
Those books had also been out for 50 years beforehand, so you had plenty of opportunity to read it.
okay, that's true. That's true.
I read them before the movies came out, and I was what, like 12 at the time. So
Yeah. I mean, I didn't honestly. I saw the first movie. I was like, "Wow, this is a cool thing," and decided to read the rest of the book. So that was, but yeah. So I was just gonna say thank you to the book readers for not ruining it for the rest of us. And if you're smart like Ryan, you'll just totally avoid all book readers. Maybe
And
not all,
also watch the show regularly.
well, yeah, you could be smart and just catch it on Sundays when it's on. But like I said, that's not me. You know how I roll. But
Hey, listen, man. I mean, you got no excuse, man. I'm sure you got HBO Go. You got tablets. You got phones. All this technology. You can be watching,
and
Daenerys conquer the, Athos. You can be
you
doing
can be
all of
watching
that
right now.
yeah, and
Okay.
and she is turning into a badass on that show. So I am appreciating that. Because when you first season she was kind of meek and timid, but she's really grown into her whole Khaleesi thing she's been doing. But yeah, but that's a really cool show, and there's another show on HBO, and I do watch it on HBO Go. That's exactly how I get all that. Is Silicon Valley, and that's a pretty cool show. And actually, you guys know a lot more about this tech stuff than I do, but it's really cool. It's showing about a startup company, guys pretty much building it in their house, and they're building this really cool compression program, and just the cutthroatness and kind of making fun of Steve Jobs, which everybody should make fun of Steve Jobs if you ask me, and all those guys and Bill Gates and stuff like that. So. Have you seen that one?
Yeah. I mean, I watched most of the episodes just by virtue of the fact that usually after Game of Thrones I'm so exhausted, from the awesomeness that I just experienced that I need something to, sort of let me down. And it's good when there's a show that's not terrible that comes on after Game of Thrones. I could sort of, lean back and enjoy passively. I think that's what Silicon Valley provides. I wouldn't say it's hilarious, but it has some funny
Definitely has
moments.
its moments. Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, it definitely has its moments. That's the thing about it. I mean, I think the show that used to go out of Game of Thrones was Eastbound and Down for a long time, and that was a really good one. And then you were saying there's another one, Ladies Man, right?
Yeah, Ladies Man, or not? It was Hello Ladies. Is what it
Hello,
was called.
Ladies. So yeah, and I'm with you because half the time when they end those Game of Thrones episodes, it's just like you're in the middle of a heart attack, and you're like,
Oh, yeah.
now I gotta wait till next week. Thanks a lot. So,
And all the season of Game of Thrones have been cliffhangers, or not cliffhangers, but just they hit you hard at the end of the episode.
mhm.
So seeing a couple losers in California struggle for a startup, it brings me back to reality. And
Yeah, there's no dragons flying around in that, or
exactly, it's just real life depression.
Yeah, exactly. That's just how we all are, moping around a little bit. But yeah, so that was pretty cool. So if you haven't checked out those shows, I understand because I haven't finished Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I haven't checked out those shows because, like I said, I don't watch anything apparently. And you might wonder why am I on this show, this entertainment show, and I don't watch anything. But
Well,
that's
because I don't know
Brian's
how to put this up by myself, so
That's all Brian's job. Don't blame me for not watching these shows.
Well, I'm close. Like, only one episode off, but the biggest episode. It's like missing the red wedding episode from last year's season. So, but let's talk about